Hello. Hello. Hi. Okay. I think everything is up and running. Okay. We are on an escort mission at the moment, and everyone loves those. Hello, Grim. Bit Trip Runner God is in the audience. I hope you're doing well. I'm good. I don't need health or magic right now.
Thank you, Kratos.
Our journey is far from over, Pandora. By its end, you will not be thanking me.
I know I look it, but I'm not a child, Kratos. I have seen many terrible things. I'm not afraid. I understand what lies ahead. I saw Zeus torture my father. I saw him beaten because of me. I should have helped him, but I was afraid.
Hephaestus did what every father should do. Protect his child.
No! It's all my fault. I failed him because of fear. Fear is its own kind of darkness. In that darkness, I heard what the gods said about me. They called me a monster.
Words mean nothing.
Perhaps. But in their words, I heard fear. The fear of an ash-covered warrior. The fear of you. As the fear in the gods rose, mine was replaced by hope.
Hope is for the weak, Pandora.
Hope is what makes us strong. It is why we are here. It is what we fight with when all else is lost.
Her character model hasn't aged that well. The Kratos character model is still really good. But she looks very PlayStation 3.
This is what hope delivers, child. You should learn that now.
Yesterday I forgot to turn down the stream volume, you know, after watching that Xbox crap. So this might have been a bit loud yesterday, but I haven't put it back yet and it seems fine, so I'll just leave it where it is for now and we'll see how it goes. I think I'll put it down a touch. Try that. I should probably turn it down a bit more. Like, yeah, I forgot to do this yesterday and no one complained, so I guess it's probably all right the way it was, but yeah, just in case. That is a worthy strategy, Glenn. We should probably take the wizard out. If I can. This fight goes on for a bit, doesn't it? Hello, RT. Yeah, I wouldn't really want to play a game like this on hard, I don't think. Why is this fight so long? I don't get it. If it's not Max Payne, exactly. At least in Max Payne 2 you get a special ending if you beat it on the hard. And in Max Payne 1 you get that little, I don't know what you would call it, challenge room thing. Next game request? Oh boy. What is it? I feel like I need to do something here. Because it just keeps going on and on and on, so maybe I have to do this. Severe agony. No, I refuse to do that. I don't want to do that, RT. That went on for a crazy long time, that fight. There's a piece of fabric lying on the ground with a message inscribed in blood. It reads, Spartan, no man was meant to make it this far. Maybe you're not a man. I do not know you, but I suspect whatever brings you here means that you are no friend of Zeus. He must pay for breaking his promise and letting my son die. I can only hope that you can complete your mission. What a fitting end, to die in my greatest invention. The only thing I loved more was Icarus. Now I can be with him. Yeah, I don't want to stream any Nintendo consoles. They're probably not grown. Wasn't that like over 2 weeks ago now? I would imagine those are gone. It is a Prime thing, yeah. It's quite a good Prime perk, actually. I'm sure some people are good about highlighting their stuff immediately, but I am not. I think I am up to like the early stages of the Dark Souls 2 playthrough, so I'm what, a solid month behind highlighting stuff. And as far as putting stuff on YouTube, I'm a solid 8 months, 9 months behind, something like that. Hey Landlord John, how are you?
The chain, Kratos. My father once told me it maintains the balance of power within Olympus. Break the chain to raise the labyrinth.
Wait here.
Yeah, they're doing that remake, sure. Uh-oh. That was bad. Oh. Mm, mm. That was terrible. Oh. I'm not doing very well at this, am I? I've been alright at these so far, but I'm boning this one up. Nope. There we go. Hey, Mad Dan, no, I don't think so. I'm glad you think of that, Gro. That was a fun playthrough. I would actually stream more Splinter Cell games, but it's really annoying. The second one, Pandora Tomorrow, is not on any... It's not on anything. It's not on GOG, it's not on Steam. Which is really strange because it's the only one that isn't. I could just skip it and go to straight to Chaos Theory, which is the best one anyway. Kind of like what I'm doing with this. I have played the first God of War, but I have not played the second one. I have played Pandora Tomorrow before, but a very long time ago. I'm doing terrible at this. If they did announce a new Splinter Cell, like a proper new one, I don't know, I probably wouldn't get that excited for it. The stuff that Ubisoft is doing these days isn't, I don't know, doesn't really tickle my fancy. And if they can't get Michael Ironside to do the voice, then I'm not interested. That was the worst thing about Blacklist. Blacklist is pretty good, but no Michael Ironside was so crap. You did play it well, Grim. Very impressed. Which version did you play? Did you suck at these RT, or is it just me? It's probably just me, it's probably just a skill issue, innit? Bum ba 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 bum bum. Yeah, the Xbox version was the original version of Splinter Cell. All the other versions were ports. But thank you very much, Grim. Worst bit of the game? Good to know. It's over. Exploding dogs. It's not going so well, is it? Wow. I did not mean to do this. I didn't know you could do that. Good to know, I guess. Dead. You are dead. No frogs today, bad luck. Imagine if this game had some sort of flaming frog in it. I don't think that fits in with Greek mythology, but we can always pretend. I should probably upgrade some things just for the hell of it. Like this, I do use this sometimes. Wow, RT. Can't believe you would condone such a thing. Ah, but I believe the latest box quote makes up for that. Yeah, I'm not sure what number we're up to. That's the one. I like that quote. I have to spam the upgrades again. That's annoying. So you can kick them into Cerberus, I guess, the exploding dogs. This bit's quite tricky, at least compared to the rest. Like, this is not going well. It's going to ask me, do I want to play it on easy? No, it's not. Next time, probably. Trying to avoid the dogs as much as I can, but it isn't easy. No. Well, my last magic there whiffed. I'm gonna die though, I reckon. That was a tricky fight. I find it to be much harder than everything else up to this point anyway. Nice evading, my lad. Is that what the E stands for? I'm not sure. Nicely endured. Well, good. Close enough. Hello, Macaroni. How are you? Have you decided what you're going to play next, Grim? What's up, Grim? For some reason, when I first looked at your message, Macaroni, I thought you said a bit lifted. And I was like, alright. Fair enough. But a bit tired. Hopefully you're not doing too badly. Oh, Lighthouse Family. They had some bangers. Even Grim would agree with that. I'm stuck in low rank on Face It. I don't know what that is. Do I want to know what that is? Better not be CSGO. Yeah, I know we've been here before. Back in the day. Face It is an esports platform founded in London in 2012. The company has administered leagues for games such as Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, League of Legends, Rocket League. Well, I don't know what to say to that. Sadly, it is CS:GO. You'll get over it someday. You'll move on to better things eventually. Or maybe that's just the copium speaking for me. Anyone who finishes that game is an MLG pro, Grim. Especially if you don't cheat at all. No problem, Macaroni. The PC version of Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth, the end of it is impossible. Because I believe they forgot to put in the ability to run. So it's actually impossible and I had to cheat to beat it. So yeah. Hello, Nico. How are you? The weekend was fine. How was yours? Oh. Hello, Bon. Hope you're doing well. Glad to hear you're doing okay, Bon. Nice, Nico. That's good. My stream bully if I can get it working. Yeah, I think that's quite difficult from what I understand. Gotcha, macaroni. Have you made any money from playing CSGO competitive matches, macaroni? Okay, no problem, Grim. Hopefully you will make some of the greatest luncheon ever. I don't think you've missed anything, macaroni. I guess we're going into here. The fires, the people screaming. I was so scared. Why didn't Father protect us? The judges say I have to go now to Elysium. That'll be nice there. I miss my family. Give it a quick save. I would phone up Bill Gates and complain to him, macaroni. I mean, that's what Snoop does anyway. So probably a good idea.
Kratos! Zeus knows I've escaped! Hurry! I can hear him! He's near! Please help me, Kratos! Hurry!
Oh no. Three Wise Men, my favorite James Blunt song. Oh, that's fine. Ah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is totally fine. We're good. That was a lot easier from the last one.
Pandora! Athena?
It's all right, Kratos.
Remember your purpose, Spartan. Remember why you have come so far. Prepare yourself, Spartan. You know what you must do.
I will raise the labyrinth. I will take her where she belongs.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hurry, Kratos!
We could save, but I can't be bothered. Look at these cinematic camera angles. Oh yeah. I think I remember this place. Health's not too bad. I'm not sure if we should go up or keep going around. I guess we'll find. I guess we'll find out. Is it gonna stop? Okay. This looks safe.
There it is. I can see it, Kratos. In the darkness, the fires of hope will set us free.
Pandora, no!
You know why I'm here. You brought me here to do this.
I will find another way.
No, Kratos. There is no other way. Let me go!
No, child!
I am not a child! You're hurting me! Kratos, help!
Uh-oh.
Put her down, Zeus!
Your obsession with this thing has become somewhat of a nuisance, my son.
Release the girl, Zeus!
Don't confuse this object, this construction of Hephaestus with your own flesh and blood. But perhaps you already have, Spartan. Your quest for Pandora, your pathetic attempt for atonement from the family you slaughtered, has caused nothing but havoc on Olympus. Look around at what you have done.
I see only what I have come to destroy.
Taking pity on you has been my greatest mistake, Kratos. Just as taking pity on this thing will prove to be your greatest mistake.
This has nothing to do with her!
It has everything to do with her!
Put her down!
As you wish.
That's a concussion. Hello, Nikki Games 11. I hope you're doing well. This is pretty cool. Well, that didn't go too well.
I'll put an end to this chaos.
I'm not good at getting out of that. Oh, is that what the Mortal Kombat level's based on? That's interesting. It makes sense as well. Lurk City. No problem. No, I agree with Nikki. I mean, Zeus is a good looking man. Well, that didn't go too well. There's a war happening in chat. That's funny. No. Why is Muck rimmed out for that one? This is not a good run. Yeah, no, this is terrible. Yeah, it's one of those, I don't know, like myths that just never gets resolved. Oh. It's pretty hard. Laying in progress. Blimey. Oh, sounds good, Grim, and welcome back. This is a bad run. That was, yeah, really bad. There is no hope. He's right about that. I'm not very good at this game, it turns out. I'm just not a god gamer. And this is proof of that. Oh, what is going on with the camera? Okay. Well, that was a fun bug, wasn't it? Let's do that again. Curious. He really is. That looked a bit weird because we were so close to that one slide. I agree, Nikki, with that. I'm also dazzled by his good looks, so that doesn't help. You wanna die? Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard. I like that the hit counter is still on screen. That's a bug. Sword quest? Yes, I should do that. Oh, what? I'm just spamming magic, basically. Oh, he's back.
Do not let her into the flame.
This is what I
pathetic life. Don't fail. Don't fail her like you failed your family.
Pandora!
So that's why they call it that. Hmm.
Power to kill a god.
Empty!
Hello, Dark 132.
After all you have sought, after all you have sacrificed, it ends in another stunning failure.
Molding right now. Where are we going? What are we doing? Who am I? What's this game? Going out here, maybe. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you? Hello, Cirque's Muck. The person who was rimmed out for so long. It is always nice to see you both, Muck and Dark One. Quite the tag team.
Such chaos. I will have much to do after I kill you.
Face me, father. It is time to end this.
Yes, my son. It is time.
Oh, did not see that coming. Oh, things are happening.
The reign of Olympus ends now.
Gaia! You live?
My world, it bleeds because of you. I never sought your death, Spartan. Yet you have left me no choice.
Your pawn has failed you, Gaia. Perhaps you should have chosen the other one.
Enough! Father and son will die together.
That is a fun fact indeed, Nikki. Any Gaia fans in the audience tonight?
I'll put an end to this chaos.
Fair enough. Oh, look at Zeus go. Getting his health back, I presume. Two Zeuses? Madness. Oh. Oh no, that's not good. Not what I want. That's an army right there. Dumbhead, yeah. I agree with my own quote. Wow.
I grow weary. My son.
Oh no, that's not good. These are all bad things happening right now.
Nothing but darkness lies ahead, Kratos.
This is cool. The perspective is kind of interesting. They were foreshadowing the direction this series would go with this camera angle. It's just a Max Payne ripoff, isn't it?
Mother, what's happening outside? The people, the fires.
Shh. Stay close, Calliope.
Mother, I'm scared. Are they coming to get us?
Your father will protect us.
Man this village! Ban it to the ground!
Daddy? Kratos! No! No, Father, no!
My wife. My child. How? They were left in Sparta. Ares!
No baby, yet.
Kratos! Come. I can show you the way. Hurry! I can help Kratos! Kratos, in the darkness, the fires of hope will set us free.
Lovely lantern.
can see the light. It is changing you. It is time to lay your fears to rest. The light reveals the truth. The power of forgiveness comes from within. To be forgiven, you must find the power to forgive yourself.
This way.
No, Kratos! Stop!
Athena! No!
Sedge. Good night, Macaroni. Thank you very much for hanging out, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Kratos, fear drove Zeus to kill his father Kronos. The same fear that brought the Great War. A fear that drove Zeus to kill you, his own son. Zeus uses fear to keep you in the dark. Confront your demons and lay them to rest.
Over here, Kratos.
The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Now there is
That's how the first one started, right?
Do you remember that day, Spartan?
I wanna know you remember.
Good luck with that little whore you call Pandora. You cannot change your destiny, mortal.
Yeah, I thought so.
I gave you everything.
Please, don't do it, Spartan.
Die, Spartan!
Today you may defeat me, but in the end, Kratos, in the end, you'll betray only yourself.
You'll pay for that, Kratos.
You will never find her.
Spartan never lets his back hit the ground. Oh no! Not you again!
Your soul will never find peace for what you have become.
Don't leave me again, Kratos! Wait! I can tell you.
Hello, Mac Danny.
Destroy Zeus. You must step into the flame to receive its power.
You destroy everything you touch.
At the true face of hatred!
All of Olympus will fall!
People cried out for you. They begged for their God to save them. But you did not come.
Kratos!
show you the way.
I created you, and I will be your end.
Hurry!
Why won't you die? Die! Tremble in fear.
Kratos! Ah! Over here, Kratos!
Hush!
Hurry, Kratos! Kratos, please. I need you to free me.
Don't listen to her, Kratos. Once in your prophetic life, don't fail. Don't fail her like you failed your family.
I would imagine this is pretty far.
All right, Kratos.
This is a nice, relaxing part of the game.
Kratos, you know this is the only way. As the fear in the gods rose, mine was replaced by hope.
Power to kill a god.
Oh my goodness.
Hope is what makes us strong. It is why we are here. It is what we fight with when all else is lost.
We have hope now. Everything's gonna be alright. Nice first person combat here. Not at all strange. BR God of War game, yeah. Welcome back, Bon. Do you think we've beat him up enough? Or should we keep going? Keep going. I can do this all night. Imagine seeing Zeus in VR. How exciting would that be? Oh yeah, I saw that Mac Danny in a news story. Okay, my thumb's actually getting quite tired. Banger.
You have done well, Kratos.
Thanks.
Freed from the bondage of Olympus and cleansed in chaos, mankind is now ready to hear my message.
Look around you, Athena. The world stands in ruin. What good is your message?
Go if you must. But first, I insist you give me the power from inside the box.
The box was empty.
That can't be true. I can see it in your eyes. You used my power to kill Zeus. You still have it as we speak. Don't you understand? When Zeus gathered all the evils and placed them in the box, I dreaded what would happen if it was opened again. And so, I summoned the most powerful weapon in the world, and I placed it in the box.
I told you, it was empty. Pandora was sacrificed in vain. She died because of my need for vengeance.
You must be mistaken. You used my power to kill Zeus. I saw you do it. Unless... Of course. When you opened the box, you released the evils to the gods. Infected them. Changed them. Zeus himself fell prey to the dark evils. This is why he became so enraged and obsessed with your death. He was consumed by the evil, fear.
So he really was a sweetie the entire time.
I placed in the box was never released. All these years I assumed you drew from the evils inside to destroy Ares. But I was wrong. The power you took from the box is mine. From it, you gained the strength that Zeus could never destroy. A strength great enough to overcome fear. Locked deep inside of you, Kratos, is hope. It has remained buried, trapped by your guilt and the failures of your past. When you killed Zeus, you must have allowed something to awaken it. What was it, Kratos?
Hope is what makes us strong. It is why we are here. It is what we fight with when all else is lost.
What was it, Kratos?
All I remember is what I have lost.
That is why you should give me the power. I understand its true meaning and where it belongs. I trust you to do the right thing, Kratos.
You shouldn't.
You owe me this, Kratos.
I owe you nothing.
I made you a god. I sheltered you from the wrath of Olympus. I delivered you revenge on Zeus.
It is over, Athena.
You would dare strike me down? Again?
My vengeance ends now.
Kratos, no! You fool! What have you done? No! That was meant for me! They will not know what to do with it! You disappoint me, Spartan.
Yeah, they shouldn't have made any more God of War games after that. I like that though. That was a good ending. You know, for a game that really doesn't have like that great of a story, they did a good job at the end. Like the final act was very good. Thank you, thank you. These are nice looking credits as well. I appreciate that. Oh, is it really hard, Muck? Elijah Wood gets special thanks. Why? What did he do? I can understand why people don't like Dad of War now after playing that. I can understand why the idea of rebooting this series is a bit. Some things are best left alone, I think. Facial motion capture. Brand Burger. What a great name. Yeah, actually like burger. Yeah, I only played the demo for Dante's Inferno back in the day. If I ever find it cheap somewhere, I'll pick it up. Very close, Grim, very close. A shout out to PlayStation Network for this single player only game. These are very nice credits. Sean Layden. I don't think he works for Sony anymore. Yeah, he retired last year. I mean, of course it does, Mac Danny. They tried their best to rip this game off as hard as they could. It had like moral decisions though, I guess that made it different. Where did he go? I actually don't like that. I just want the final image to be him dead. It kind of takes the edge off it a bit. If you show that he's magically disappeared. Latin America. Yeah, well that's what happens when you remaster games, isn't it? You have to tack on like extra credits that don't look as good. Like this is the standard video game credits now. Yeah, I remember them looking bad, Nikki. And there was like code in the credits or something. I did it. Congratulations on defeating God of War R-I-I-I exclamation mark. You have unlocked challenges, chaos mode, brackets, very hard difficulty, costumes, and videos. Strap in. She looks delighted to be there.
And fun. It's gonna be great.
I'm very happy with the way God of War 2 came out. Provided we hit our mark, I was pretty confident
There's
that our
Scat.
sales would be better than God of War 1, but I was rather skeptical that our reviews would be. God of War 2, I think at the end of the day, probably equaled, if not slightly exceeded the first, which I was not expecting, and it was quite satisfying.
I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. I deserve this.
Wow, language.
This is the final chapter. So I think big goals for me are to finish this off in such
He's
a
like the main guy
grand,
now,
epic
right?
fashion, something that is truly befitting of what we've done, what we've set up in 1 and 2.
All right, this is for a revenge story.
God of War 2 ended up being everything we ever hoped it would be, and probably a bit more. It got reviewed very well. I honestly feel like it was probably about as good a game as is likely to be made on the PS2, and I'm very proud that we managed to do that.
We're all one big family here at SCEA.
I see, Nikki.
Once you start something, you got to finish it. So that's the way I look at things. God of War 3 is going to be the conclusion to the story. My hope is to make the best effects I can on the last one.
When I think of God of War, I think of the best action platformer out there right now. I think other games and other companies look at us and go, how are they doing it? How can we make it like them? And that's rad, because I've totally been at the company where we looked at that game and went, man, how do we do that, you know?
My main
Very
hope
strange Halloween
is that
party.
it escapes the destiny of sequels as well as God of War 2 has escaped the destiny of sequels.
I'm gonna be satisfied if we
Slash?
tie it all up and we can kind of close the book.
That's funny.
We're past the stage of figuring out what we want to do. We're now in the early phases of sorting out the how we're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, indeed, Grim.
Next Friday will be my last day at Sony Santa Monica. The bomb was dropped. It was somber and everyone was quiet and no one said anything, and perhaps there was a tad bit of shock.
What did he
It's
do
killing 'cause
after
I
this? I
really
wonder.
want to say something, but it's just nothing you can say is going to come across as anything but you're an asshole.
When I heard that Corey was going to leave was kind of annoyance more than anything. It's, you know, it takes a long time to make a successful team as much as a successful product. It's always a pain when a key person in that team decides to move on.
First emotion we felt was just shock. Didn't see it coming, didn't expect it. It's like dropping a bomb.
Well, it was disbelief, obviously. I thought he would be the last one to leave.
Incredibly bummed out, like very, very disappointed.
You know, you're never really prepared for something like that, you know? They don't warn you very well either. They just kind of spring it on you.
It was kind of a bit of a shock. I never expected that Corey would leave the project, so. But once the initial shock died down, I couldn't help but being a little bit happy.
I know he
for him,
did,
so-
Nicky,
because he was
but
getting
like
to
I'm
try
sure
new
he
things.
went on to do something
turmoil for now, but
in
I think
between, right?
We'll work it out.
I'm glad he has the balls to stick to
I'll look it up.
whatever it is that he wants, but I'm also a little pissed that he's leaving us in the lurch, just kind of like holding the bag.
I mean, I know I want to be here. If he needs to be someplace else, that's what he's got to do. And I think it's better that it happened at this stage in the project than a year from now, obviously.
It obviously is a very difficult choice and a difficult time and not a very happy choice to be making. But, you know, on the horizon, the doors are opening.
Of course, it's
You
hard
went
to imagine
on
someone stepping
to
into Corey's shoes.
work.
He's amazing.
Many people wondered whether we could do God of War 2 without David
At
Jaffe, who did
LucasArts
God of
for a
War
bit.
1, and I think we succeeded at that. I think we can succeed at creating a third version without Corey Barlog.
And he also worked at Crystal Dynamics for a bit.
A different director for each chapter.
And then he went back to Santa Monica. Okay. Thank you, Wikipedia.
I have chosen Stig Asmussen to take the helm.
When I became director, there was a very warm response from the team. I got a lot of tons of support, and I mean, so far everybody's been super cool. I look back on how Corey handled things and how Dave handled things, and I draw
David
inspiration.
Jaffe?
I think the most important thing that I got from both
That's
of those
who Dave
guys
is,
the
if
fact
anyone
that they
is
were
curious.
themselves.
I'm super excited about this. You know, this team kicks ass, you know, and it's said a lot, but this type of situation, the kind of garbage that we've been going through in the last month, as far as I'm concerned, this team's second to none.
But Stig is fucking amazing.
Stig's a pretty good leader, I think mostly because you're probably afraid of him when you first meet him.
The entire team really respects him. Everybody communicates well with him, and he's not unfair with any of his decision makings.
From my perspective, he is much more easier to work with.
Well, I'll
He
take
is
that, Corey.
Much more structured and engineer
I
friendly.
wonder if this guy still works there. That guy who
One
said
of my
that.
strengths is to try to lead by example.
As soon as Corey got
That
back,
filters through to the rest
fired
of the
him
team, and they're
immediately.
able to approach their tasks with total excellence.
all those leads from the last game, those key people, they're in place. And that's really where the personality of the studio comes from. That's where the drive of the team comes from.
I shouldn't really
to
joke about things like
every
that,
element
because
and
the
make
games
everything that's
industry
in
is
the
pretty
game
wild.
the best that it can be. It really is driven from the leads and from the culture of this studio, and that has not changed even through the turnover.
So working on the PS3 is very, very challenging. It's a lot of new
It's a nice
technology
way of
and a
saying
lot of
it's
new
the
techniques
pain
are
in the
required
rectum
to make a
to
game on the
make a game for
PS3,
it.
which means that we have to learn some completely new techniques for writing our game code. It's also a completely new graphics processor, so we have to learn about those graphics techniques and work out how we expose them to the artist in order to make the best possible art and give the game the look that the art team is interested in. We have a similar set of problems working with the designers. People's expectations for games on the PS3 are much higher. They want to see, you know, more enemies and more complicated effects and, you know, more ragdoll physics on the characters and, you know, realistic looking reactions when you hit people. So yeah, there's a tremendous amount of challenge working on the PS3.
God of War 2, the team was able to throw so many things into the game and get things up and running and finding out, is that fun or not? The hard transition for God of War 3 is getting all that to work again because we have so much new technology that has to be built.
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody has to relearn their own personal expectations and their limitations and how they're projecting their schedules and their tasks.
They're making
like
sure,
that.
you know,
Everybody's counted on everybody
the
else
jabs
to kind
look
of make
right.
accurate predictions on what they can do. It's tough right now because everything's new. It's just so much more involved. That's very worrisome. When are we going to get to the point where we can say something's going to take 4 weeks to do and it's really going to take 4 weeks to do? It's understandable that nobody understands that right now.
PlayStation 3, we're able to push a lot more polygons, a lot more texture resolution and detail, so things are hyper realistic. I mean, they're so realistic now that
yeah, I know what you
we
mean,
can actually
bro.
see pores on skin and hair and eyebrows and nose hairs. You can see everything. We have a lot.
I haven't really been looking at the subtitle.
Every character now is like taking 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
At least 6 weeks.
Yeah, to make one. It's not like before. It's like 5 days we can make one.
For me, it's not knowing kind of where the limits are. You can make stuff look so super realistic now, and that takes a lot of time. Whereas before, we really had defined limits.
Yeah, it's exponentially more complex. And the other big thing is this is going to be our first PlayStation 3 game, and we're expected to be able to beat games that some studios have released 2, 3, even 4. Gamers are expecting us to have better technology, better art, better visuals, better gameplay. Across the board, they expect it to be better. And that's pretty intimidating in itself.
We're going crazy with the detail. When it's done, I think it's going to look incredible.
You're going to see Kratos do a lot more subtle movement, more facial animation, things that the human eye just, you know, usually takes for granted, but now we can include all those things.
The things that we can actually accomplish are starting to now really become things that are only limited by our imagination.
With the new hardware, the new system, we're able to kind of start pushing the player experience.
Probably any time when the game forces you to do quite precise movements within like a time pressure situation, which isn't very often.
Like running on the damn thing, so it's like.
But that can be a bit frustrating, you know, when you're trying to get Kratos to do something and he doesn't do what you want him to do, and you fail and you have to do the whole thing over
The
again.
fact that you're going to be able to run around this like.
But yeah,
moving
that's not very
character,
often.
and it's basically a moving level. It's pretty insane.
From a programming perspective, they're a big challenge. We designed all of our animation systems and everything to deal with a roughly 2 meter high character where, you know, if his little finger twitches slightly, there's not too much of a big deal.
Exactly.
But when your
But I really
character's,
don't have that many complaints with the game. It was really good.
high, then a little twitch in the finger suddenly becomes like a really big deal. The very first moment those were mentioned, I was like, oh, Jesus, this is going to be a big problem.
Yes.
But hey, I mean, it wouldn't be God of War if we didn't try something we didn't think we could do when we started.
Because I'm very proud of this game, and you guys, I've invited
I think
a
that's the same
storyteller
date
friend
that
of mine
Dead Space came
to
out.
come in our walkabout. So Stan Lee is going to
At
join
least
us
over
today,
here.
and,
Oh my
we got-
goodness, Stan Lee.
This
R.I.P.
is such a cool time to be just walking around the studio and looking at things as they're coming online. Every month, you know, we do a walkabout, and it's largely for the team to kind of, you know, review each other's work and, you know, and really compliment each other.
It's a big studio now, there's like 80 people here, and really it's impossible to keep on top of everything that any given part of the group has been working on. It's an opportunity for everyone to see what cool stuff has been going on in the studio. It's a good way of making everyone realize that they're part of a big machine at this point.
Plus, everything looks better after you had a couple beers, so it helps to make your stuff look better.
I don't think that's a healthy attitude.
These are all, it's Olympus
The gods, and they're all bad. All the gods are bad except this guy who's tormented.
Yes.
That's great.
His line is, in the end, there will only be chaos.
And then the next game you do is called Chaos. That's a great sequel.
There you go. Zeus's brother Poseidon.
Terrific, terrific drawings.
Hera.
Yeah. I love to write dialogue. Maybe we could try something new. A video game with lots of dialogue. I'm sure it would sell like a bomb. And I love the way this hand is there. Oh, gosh.
Oh yeah, and then when he moves the hand, we'll
Yeah.
like make that to kind of get destroyed a little bit and get all kinds of dust flying off of it.
This is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Cool.
That is beautiful.
That's pretty cool. But they got Stan Lee in for them.
That was the last thing Corey did before he left.
Okay, so long, fellas.
We're just giving each other props here.
Yeah.
Cheers.
There's no such thing as a bad walkabout. Because, beer at work.
And also, Stanley rules!
It's Stanley!
Stanley!
I wonder what John Lawrence is up to now. I can't remember McDaniel.
I'm fine with it as long as we make it seem like it's in-game as much as possible.
I'm still learning every single day, and I imagine that process won't ever end. And there's so many things that you can learn from every individual on this team.
I might
Stig is
replay
kind
that
of
if I ever get the
very
remastered version.
Easygoing, very casual.
Because
but
I don't
he's
remember
also
it very well.
Extremely intelligent, very thoughtful. I think the thing that's been successful for him is that people just want to help him out. They just want to make a good game.
Stig just keeps pushing along. He's got 2 brand new twins at home, and
yeah, it just keeps on
He's
going.
got this other baby, this big baby on his back right now, so he's doing great.
Since last Halloween, we made a lot of progress. We've got the story of the game done. We've got the whole design direction completed. 3 months from now, we're going to be doing our press event.
Everyone gets to go home early!
The first couple times when Stig addressed the team, it was so clear how nervous he was. He would kind of stumble on his words, and he'd literally, turn red, like a stoplight. It was really kind of endearing. But then to watch him sort of evolve, and honestly, I think I was a little bit concerned that our game director is our public face, and we actually gave him some media training. And Stig actually asking people, he says, honestly, I don't want to think about all this stuff. I just want to be myself. Is that okay? And they said, you know what? Absolutely.
That looks good.
Oh, wow.
I wonder what they blurred out in the background.
Kratos is. He's probably closer to the size of this guy.
Will is our stand-in Kratos when
They
Kratos
don't
isn't here.
own the
As close as you can get.
the rights to show whatever that artwork is.
We picked the venue and the location for the spot,
That
and we
painting.
brought all the media here. We
Or
have something
picture.
like 60 people here from the media. I can't wait for them to see the actual gameplay. These guys are going to be thrilled.
Love Kratos. Kratos is hot. Be nice to see if he ends up a god or destroying Olympus. I do love the violence as well.
I can't say I know who Jenna
Wait to see what new
Bush
characters
is.
they've brought to us, what new enemies, and I'm really excited.
I also want the sizzle, Maybe we can just focus it in a little bit more. We can play with that a little bit. Yeah.
The development team has worked so hard on this project, so it's really fun to see when all their hard work comes to fruition.
I'm going to get through the first couple slides up here, and then I'm going to start to walk around. Nobody has seen the gameplay outside of our studio, so this is going to be the first time. Want to get this over with. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited about this. I think we've got something really cool to show. I'm looking forward to seeing people's reactions. Can we play it? This is our first big kind of press thing. There's definitely some nerves with that. Anxious. I'm definitely anxious. The best thing that could happen today is people think it's awesome. It totally kicks ass. The worst thing that could happen today is that people just flat out think it sucks. I don't think that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
you never know with these media people.
Those media people can't be trusted.
What is the vision for God of War 3? We want to define this generation with this game. We're going to take a close look at him. I'll talk about some of the features that we're using on him. Here he is. We've got blended normal maps on him right now, so you can see the realistic muscle flexing. I would imagine that we've got one of the most advanced systems for that in the industry right now. The battle's in full swing. The god Helios is in battle with a massive Titan. And Kratos is going to launch into battle and start doing some damage on the grunts here. Now, Todd can easily just grab one of the grunts by pressing circle, and if he continues pressing circle, he can beat the crap out of him. But if he presses triangle, then he can rip them apart. If he presses X, then he can throw them. And one more move, square, uses it as a battering ram, and then he can take it, mash circle,
I enjoyed doing
smash
that.
his head against
That
the
was
wall.
my favorite thing with it.
And all these moves are interchangeable. Meet our latest AI, the Chimera. Part snake, part goat, part lion. Todd has just unleashed the cestus on him, and you can see it's a brawling weapon. Now, the way the Chimera works is it's a 3-stage enemy. First, you fight the snake stage, and then it changes its stance and you fight the lion stage.
What are these reactions?
We're really having fun with gore in this game. Entering the Cyclops. Every action that the Cyclops makes is a direct reaction from the pain that Kratos is inflicting on him. Well, that's our newest upgrade, the Helios head. It can be used to reveal secrets. Todd has now found the door of Eos. Another thing the Helios head can be used as is a lantern in darkened areas. This is our newest form of travel in God of War, Icarus Ascension. Todd now has full
These
flight
bits weren't
controls
the
over
best.
Kratos and basically dodging gameplay.
They're okay.
That's it.
Oh my god. Fantastic. It was great.
It was phenomenal. I mean, like, I thought that I had a concept of what it would be like, but this pretty much blew everything completely out of the water.
We're putting a lot into this game. I said I think this game needs to be a defining game for this generation, and I truly believe it will be. I can't comment on what the future holds for the series because, you know, I'm focused on God of War 3 right now, but this is God of War this is it. This is the end of the story. We got a lot of work to do, so there's no time for relaxing, that's for sure. E3 is obviously a big thing. We got to get this playable to the public, what we just showed on the demo here. We're in pretty good shape for that, but we got to get the game done. But we still got a lot of work left to do. Right now for E3, pretty nervous about it.
Yeah, I think
Nervous,
all
mean,
of the
think
big
nervous isn't a
like
bad
kills
thing.
in
You know,
this
you should
game
be
were pretty good.
nervous. Your nerves should be on edge, or else you're not going to get the thing done right.
It's kind of ironic that most people would have been happy with the reaction for the press demo, and we were kind of like, we could have done better. We've undertaken to basically change the rendering path between February and E3 to make it look much prettier and much more next-gen. We have this amazing capacity to never know when to stop. Hopefully it'll all come together. I think it will. It's looking very nice. We definitely know how to pressure ourselves.
This team sets the bar really high. We could settle for a lot less and probably be a lot closer to being done, but with this group, they're
That'd be
never
way too
satisfied.
easy.
Yeah, we never
And then
do
the
things
crunch
an easy way.
kicks in.
Personally, I'm worried, but then I think it's good that I'm worried because that forces me to actually get this shit done.
Good. There's definitely pressure, self-created pressure, and then pressure from other departments just to get everything done. We're all just trying to do our best.
I think the most pressure we get is from ourselves. Every team is always looking at the other team's work and commenting and critiquing. So we're really pushing each other the most, I think.
It's a lot of back and forth.
So that's why it's not as good then, Nikki.
The following week, it's absolutely nothing moves because we're going to need to take every freaking second to make sure it's stable, and we are at frame rate. So, stay with that. You want to just...
The dead soldiers on the ground aren't in the poses?
Nope, and they don't have blood streaks and stuff in here.
Tyler's doing blood streaks.
Alright, so we need a book over here then. The inactive mode would look like kind of like it does right now with the book shut. The active mode, the book would open up and it would have like a glow around it.
We have to open and close the book.
Yeah, there's a book for it.
Wish I would have known that when we built it, because we didn't build it to open and close.
Wait, you need the book to open and close?
Yeah.
There's no limit to good ideas, but there is a limit to how many of those good ideas that you can actually implement. And even if you make decisions and you make progress on things, it doesn't mean that you can get all those things done.
We need to be able to tell people this thing is active now.
Can we remove it for E3?
Are you serious?
No, I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of other shit here to get done besides getting a book to have in an active states.
Let's say we don't do the open and close for E3. It would just have a glow effect and a light that comes with it, and that's it.
Do we just put a sparkle on it then?
Absolutely have any compromise for the schedule right now. I have to trust production, and I have to trust the fact that they're telling me that we can't get things done. So I feel like there's little things that have been compromised. I don't know that the player's going to necessarily miss them, but I sure am. It's part of making games. You don't always get what you want.
This seems like harder than the last time I played it.
We have to keep in mind that somebody from the street is going to be playing those harpies. And I don't know, the way it looks right now, on 3 tries, people will throw down the controller.
The stuff we just went through, pretty rough. It's a little frustrating from the respect that it's been kind of at this state for a long time now. Kind of wondering when it's going to get fixed. The struggle or the challenge.
If it doesn't get fixed this week, we're screwed.
This is pretty good. The drum.
This is sprint week, meaning we're making a big push this week to get a lot of work done and make some headway going into E3.
As far as crunch goes, we're not going to call it crunch anymore. We're going to call it a sprint, and then everything will be fine. So as long as we did that.
That's how you, that's how you make it better.
Crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
We don't like the euphemism sprint.
Fuck. I hate crunch. It sucks.
Right now, I'm creating a new build, and hopefully that will enable the rest of the studio to then continue working on the awesome content that they're creating for E3. They're definitely waiting on me. Definitely.
As far as my end, I feel I'm okay, but then at the same time, I kind of feel like I'm waiting on technology a little bit to kind of come online.
We just have a ton of bugs to fix. We're getting new technology right now, and the lighting's kind of broken, fog's kind of broken, so we're just trying to kind of survive, fix all our bugs, and get all of our tech in place so we can get this thing done.
You're sprinting now. Yeah.
Tonight's the first time the team has worked together as one, and there's a certain kind of level of excitement that goes into it and dread because we're still working, but it's a fun group to be with, and we're trying to get stuff done.
You know, we can only do so much, right? And we'll just try to do as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and that's it. Hopefully we end up with something pretty cool, though.
This is the biggest E3 we'll ever have.
Everybody wants to still see if Santa Monica still has it.
Last 2 weeks have been very, very intense. I actually got here this morning a half hour before the shrine actually opened to deliver live code for what we're playing this morning. I didn't have that code until yesterday afternoon.
The Sony press conference is their big moment. You know, 2 hours to like show all the new stuff they have.
I can't remember what the Sony press conference was like that year.
We're gonna end the show with.
I can't remember what they
Anytime
announced.
that you go first or last, if you open the show or close the show, it's an honor.
I guess we're happy that Sony seems so committed to our game. It's nice that all of our hard work over the last 7 years, really, because that's how long we've been working on the God of War series in total, is really getting the reception that it seems to be getting.
We're real excited that we're close
I
to
wonder
the
what
press
his
conference.
t-shirt
It's a
said.
great opportunity. It's a great way to end. We're going to be live on stage playing real live code, so nerves are definitely high.
Like a lot of jitters.
Stig's going to be talking.
I know that was the year that Microsoft announced Kinect for the first time, when it was called Project Natal. I know that definitely happened that year.
I've never done something this big.
But I can't remember the Sony press conference
However many it is.
off the top of my head.
This
This is one of the most eagerly anticipated games of this generation.
Jack Tretton. Remember
To
him?
the stage to show you the first few minutes of the jaw-dropping God of War 3.
We at Sony Santa Monica Studios are excited to be able to present this live demo of God of War 3. God of War 3 is the final chapter in our fantasy trilogy, based on the dark side of Greek mythology. Now our design director Todd Happy will take point on the controls.
I probably did watch this, I just don't remember it. I've seen so many of these at this point. They all kind of
I'm really anxious.
run together
I'm
in my
really
mind.
excited. This is a really important moment for the team. It's important for the game. I hope that we make the impression that we
This
we
was the
always
year
strive
that I was talking about this I think yesterday. This was the year I stayed up to watch the Ubisoft press conference, and it was just the first half hour was James Cameron talking about Avatar. That would have been this year as well. Hello, Illuminati. How are you? And it actually hit that date. That is actually when it came out. Remember when games actually came out on time?
People really seem to dig it. This went well.
The good old days, huh?
Well, I'm kind of glad that E3 is back. It's pretty exciting. It's been a couple
Oh,
of years
yeah.
since it was a really decent-sized E3. It's always exciting to have your game here.
This is what we work for.
Yeah, that's
E3's like
true.
Christmas.
The E3 before this one was really small, and the one before it was like somewhat small. So yeah, this was like the big comeback for E3. I do remember that.
But there weren't a lot of people playing anything. We started loading in the God of War, and people started lining up behind me to play it. I had somebody tell me today, one of the producers of another product told me when we got in there and loaded our code, all work stopped at the Sony booth so they could come play our product. Hugely flattering, big kudos to the team. Got chills just having that whole experience. It was awesome.
The games were complete, I know.
It was excellent. It was, disgusting and exciting all at the same time.
I waited an hour to play in that game. Then when you finally get to decapitate Halo's head, that was like amazing. Didn't expect to see that.
It's pretty brutal. I mean, way more brutal than like the first two. Every new game, they bump it up a little bit, so it's definitely good stuff. I waited in line 2 hours to play. What can I say? It's God of War with unforgiving amounts of violence, great gameplay, kind of thing that, just spend all day playing, not call your girlfriend, whatever, who cares, right?
What a Chad.
I'm super pumped.
Good night, Artie. Thanks for hanging out.
This is Christmas. It's Christmas. But it lasts 3 days.
And I hope to see you again soon.
It's like awesome. Really good. I'm so fucking happy that E3's back. I mean, it means so much for the industry.
Oh yeah, they wait Illuminati. 100%.
Basis when they play, we just ship it out to the source, so the team really doesn't see, people's reactions and just even the oohs and ahs at the press event. It makes it all worth it.
Just seeing like the people's faces. I mean, that's why I make the thing. I want to take people to that next level.
I think this is what excites the team the most when they get to see people's reactions. We work our asses off before this to just get the demo to be as polished as possible, and we're trying to represent almost a finished product when we're not done with the game yet. So by the end of this,
I would imagine it will still be like it is coming back next year, but I'd imagine it will be not as jam-packed as this still. Who knows? But I miss these days, man.
E3's was a huge milestone for us. A lot of publicity, a lot of great feedback and great exposure.
E3 was awesome. I have to say it went very well. Seeing all the fans and watching everybody play totally put us in a different mindset coming back from that. You really get locked up and don't really see people's reactions working on something for so long, and going and seeing people line up for your game, that's more than you could ever want, you know? It just kind of invigorates the whole team into coming back and working on something and wanting to put your heart into it and making it even better.
I think we did a good job with it at E3, and that shouldn't be our high point. That should be like our midpoint.
Alpha is when the whole game from start to finish needs to be in one bag. It can have placeholder assets, but you can fly basically through the whole game or walk through the whole game, and everything's represented in approximately the way that it will ship with.
Yeah, so ideally by alpha we shouldn't go, oh hey, we need that extra bad guy, or hey, we're gonna add a new boss.
Which we've done on other games, so.
But ideally on God of War 3, you know, alpha will be, okay, all of our pieces are in.
And then after alpha becomes beta, and beta is basically art lock.
I want to make sure that when I'm playing the game, I've got a smile on my face. You know, I've played God of War for
Well,
the last 6 or 7 years.
he doesn't have a smile on his face there.
As long as I'm
Yes,
got a
I
smile
did.
on my face, I think there's a good chance that that's going to translate over to the fans.
If you kind of take a look at this here, you can see this character that's the size of the Sears Tower, roughly. It's about
That part was great.
100 feet tall. It's a different kind of boss battle. Kronos is more than Gaia, is more fully alive.
That might be
You're
my
more
favorite
fighting on a
part of the
character
game,
that's
actually.
Moving around. So this has been very tedious and challenging and time-consuming to put this together, but I think at the end it'll be definitely be worth it, and people will feel like they're playing something they never played before. Kronos will actually like thrust his hands
that's what it looked
forward and
alright.
scrape and leave his fingers there, so that you can actually attack his fingernails. We'll have a breakable on the fingernail, and then the fingernail will bring up like a circle.
I mean, it's not
box,
really
and
for
we'll
me
fly
because
along
I'm
that,
not a
and
big
the
GoldenEye
CS
fan, but
basically do a struggle
I
and
thought it
rip
would be
out,
perfect for
you know,
someone
be
like
kind of
you.
gory, cool, memorable moment. We actually want to make this awesome. We want to make this gameplay super exciting. It's going to be everything people expect from what the Titan fight should be.
What are the big tech issues, Chris, that you need support on?
It's the only big tech issue we need support on at the moment.
Oh, there's a demo for it,
The
isn't
issue
there?
with the collision.
The more static you can get him, the more precision you will get in your CS move.
The problem is that since it's a skin collision, the skin itself is not just a non-deformable object that you can rely on to not have change from one frame to the other. That's the biggest issue we can have.
What we're doing hasn't really ever been done before, and so a lot of what we're running into are issues with trying to make it as exciting as possible, but working within the technical constraints that we have and in the time frame that we have.
I would say that the rewrite of skinned collision is turning into a very unrealistic proposition to get it finished before alpha.
Time is the biggest fun killer usually, is as far as developing. It's where you come up with the most exciting scenarios, but do we have the time to put it together?
Fabrice and I will need to take a look at what is going on and what's fixable and what is not, and what we will have to design around.
With Kronos, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and when you see it all together in the finished product with all the polish, I think it's going to be one of the most memorable experiences in gaming history. That's how I feel about it. I know it's going to be like that.
The murderer of Gaia enters my tomb. Kronos! I know it was you who killed her, Spartan. Who else could?
Halloween.
About a month back, maybe 6 weeks back after Alpha, we were looking at the end of the game and we felt like there was a lot of fighting and it didn't really tie into the story. We had a couple brainstorming meetings and we came up with this idea that it would be really cool to go inside Kratos' head. Because that's where the struggle is really taking place.
The story's really never done until the game ships. And we're always tweaking it and modifying it. But I really like working on the story.
Kratos is going to have this emotional struggle inside of his head. And, you know, really the object of this game is he has to realize that he has hope inside of him, the power of hope. And that's what he originally got when he opened up
I guess
the
so.
box. He didn't get the evil things, he got the good things. And I think it's going to be really, really fitting end to the trilogy. Keep in mind, you know, we're very close to beta here, and this is the big stretch. We really, really, really got to be zipping things up. Let's do it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
This
This is the third Halloween. I think for many it's probably a big relief. We're less than 3 months away from being done. It's been 2+ years. It's been an incredible journey. We've overcome so many pitfalls along the way with change of personnel, project redesigns. Despite all that, we've managed to continue to elevate and continue to push ourselves and continue to make the best products we as a team can do. And I think God of War 3 is living up to that.
To complete the third one is pretty amazing. We always tried to hit the highest mark we possibly could, and I think we've done it once again with this one. So we're gonna have to wait and see what the fans think, but I have really, really high hopes.
Completing a trilogy is something I never did in my life, you know, and completing something like this is very special, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do stuff like this for my work.
This is truly one of the best teams I've ever worked with. I mean, across the board. I've worked with teams that were really strong on the art side, or really strong on design, or really strong on technology, but this is the only team I worked with that fires on all cylinders.
The team faced a lot of challenges.
All your old
The
teams will
interesting
remember
thing
that.
is that this team has always faced challenges, and it sounds kind of cliche, but they're really good at facing challenges.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
You know,
I mean, we've discussed a lot. Obviously, we've gone through a lot of different changes, and the team always, I mean, you can put it any better, but they always rise to the challenge.
We really sat down and like focused what we wanted to, make good, and whatever wasn't working, we just kind of threw out the door and said, "This is what we want," and that's what everybody focused on and made good.
Fans are going to be blown away. We're still getting surprised as far as how good things look.
The game's awesome. It's gonna be good.
Been working with Kratos almost 7 years.
What have you cosplayed as?
He's taught me a lot.
Illuminati.
We've had some good times, but it's time for him to go to bed for a little while.
I know you're not talking about cosplay, but you came straight after Nikki's message, so I want to imagine a world where Illuminati does cosplay. Oh, brilliant. It's a good choice. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't. I mean, was this video in the original version of the game, or is it just for the remaster? It would be nice if there was like a little bit added on, for this remaster to show like the launch of the original version. Hello, Fred. Thank you very much for the GG. This video was very hard to watch, but we got through. No, it was actually really good. I enjoyed that. I always like a good making of video. Chris Hands. Does it Illuminati? Well, I know what I'm doing immediately after this stream. A fun romp. That was good. Excellent watching, my lad. Thank you, thank you. So, are these all like different videos? Oh my goodness.
Leo's desk, and we just,
I did. Hey, Weird. How's it going?
Hi, everybody. Tell us about the pink ball. Is that something that you decided to put in, that pink spiky ball, or was just... Well, yeah.
We're gonna be here all night.
One cool thing about this character also is that he's
like
actually kind of like a throwback character
We're bringing him back from God of War 1. He actually wasn't in God of War 2, because we definitely want to keep reminding the player that this is a trilogy. It's like, they're not supposed to be seen as separate games. So what about animating Kratos? Like, what are some of the things that are kind of challenging?
He has a specific poses that describing him. He has a kind of like a language of poses. You have to use those poses to invent some new animation. So.
We're fortunate to have Leo here because he's.
Yeah, I
joining
really
us for God of War
appreciate
3.
them
He
including
actually,
all this stuff.
is new to the
I wish
member-
every
one of the
game
newest
had like
members on the
making of
team,
videos
so
and stuff.
He's doing a great job.
One of the factors of animation is that you're kind of trying to make it invisible. The more successful we are,
No
the
problem,
less you
Nikki. Thanks for
really
hanging out.
notice the animation.
The stuff we've got going on with
And,
our boss fights is gonna
yeah,
look
have a
really
good one.
impressive. It's another kind of key development for this game, I think.
We're working a lot with the designers, like way more closely, and creating new things with them.
There's a certain type of feeling that in animation we have to achieve. And the most important part, of course, is Kratos and how he moves. Kratos is very direct. We don't try to make him too fancy. If you notice, a lot of times when he's having conversations, he's just kind of standing there waiting for the moment where he needs to say something.
Everything that Kratos does happens for a reason. I don't know if many people even notice these things, but Kratos never moves backwards. He's an aggressive character. He moves with a purpose at all times.
We actually have wooden swords laying around all the time. We definitely get up and try to act it out. It's definitely always hazardous to walk around the animation area. You gotta watch out.
What are the challenges of animating something that big?
Planning out where everything needs to be, like nothing happens on accident. You need to know where everything is. I did not know that it was gonna be this big. I just had an idea and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go with it, which is kind of a bad idea. I learned my lesson. At the same time, I'm glad that it's the size that it is. The players will be happy that it's in there. I think they'll get an adrenaline rush just from seeing the sequence.
Kratos, your death will not be a gentle one.
Yeah, like it's really impressive, all this stuff.
My eyes!
Camera design is the layout of cameras for the player's point of view in the game. So, and what we do is we basically control that player's point of view throughout the experience.
Cameras start with the design sheet being delivered to us by the level designer. That's the most basic form. We put in all the cameras for the design sheet. Once the cameras are in and it's been play tested and it proves that this is a good concept and we go forward with it, it gets sent off to the art department.
That's where they'll take it and they'll spend, months.
I'm flattered to think that
making these areas look really epic, and then
you
they'll
think I
get
might
finished
work
with
in
it,
the
and then they'll
video
hand
games
it back
industry,
to us.
though.
And a lot of times it's a little bit different, so we'll have to adjust some cameras.
Once the art comes back in and someone spent a year building that level,
Right,
they can be
okay,
very
yeah,
touchy. If
no.
they spent a year styling in this formation and my camera just goes right past it. We try to do our best to show off everyone's hard work.
And a lot of times there's a lot of cool things that you want to see in there that you can't see, so we'll go back and try to include those pieces in the shot that you get when you're playing the game. And from there, we play test it. This time externally, we get some people from the outside come in, take a look at what we're doing, making sure that that's great. After we get their feedback, implement their feedback, we're ready to go to the next area.
Anything we can do to make the cameras feel cinematic.
And they serve as a guide for the player, too, to lead them in the direction that they need to go as well.
Yeah, whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
It's sort of like people who play the God of War franchise, after a while, they get a feel that if the camera's looking this way, that's important.
In the very end, it always comes back down to what would the player want to see.
Most games in the action genre, the player gets most of the control over the camera. Player has no control over the camera in the God of War series.
Fans have been clamoring, and I hear you. We need to look around. We want to look around.
It should be understood that there's really no way we could make the levels look this good if the player could look anywhere they wanted.
What we're trying to do, though, at this time around, is give you key points where you're in the adventure and you can control the camera. So maybe you're in a crazy puzzle room and you need to be able to kind of look around. So in some of these areas, we can give the player control. but in a limited fashion. I hope the fans will appreciate that we're trying to implement their feedback.
What new feature do you like the best from the camera system?
The rail-driven cameras. I think that's been my favorite new feature as far
No,
as
you can
the
just
technology
apply
that we
for
have
that
with the camera.
Illuminati. That's an entry level
It's a
position.
rail-driven camera for someone who wouldn't know.
A camera that's animated along a course that we have even more control over what the camera is showing.
The rail is essentially what we kind of live and die by. Let's say this is
I
your
have
camera
applied
rail,
before, but didn't
this
get it.
line here, and let's say this is the thing that's driving the camera. And imagine this is a section of hallway or something like that Kratos is moving along. We can take this camera here and we can key it. So we key to 2 different positions. So Kratos is here, the camera is here. When he starts to move along, as Kratos moves along, it will drive the animation of the camera to animate to that position. So as you're cruising along, you'll kind of see it, this kind of view where it's low and looking up at him, and then as he moves along, it will kind of track him and follow him. That's like one of our cool new things that we have that we think we can add a lot of kind of cinematic views to the game.
This is a perfect example of combat cameras right here. Here we're in a room, there's nobody to fight yet. And you can see we're taking a lower angle here. And as we come here, we'll trigger
That version of the game looks great.
guys, and you can see the camera is going to lift up so we can show more of the action. And the framing, we're going to fit Kratos more towards the middle so you can see what's happening in front of him and see what's happening behind him. Try to give you the best view as possible for all the different combat actions that you're going to be taking.
So this is an untextured view of the Olympus base. This is what the artist put together first before he assigned any lighting or textures to it. Well, you can see these green boxes. These are the camera zones. They determine when Kratos is within one of those boxes, and once he is, the specific camera tied to that box gets activated. This is what a level would look like after we've added our cameras. You've got it panning around, following Kratos. If you were to take that off, it would basically look something like this. Very basic, not much excitement. You can't really tell where the player's supposed to be going. Adding the cameras is part of what definitely helps the level design flow. Here's a good example of some lead space. We're trying to tell the player this is where you want to go. Jump to this block over here. Once he's done the proper move, we zoom in, get him prepped for this nice shot of him making the leap, and then we transfer to another camera that shows him where you want to jump next, which is from here all the way down to there. So, and then he makes that jump. This would be an example of one of the vista shots we try to do in the game, which is you've got some really amazing piece of scenery in the background that the artists spent a lot of time building. So we want to get that into frame.
Character art.
Character modeling is taking the art from visual development and turning it into a 3D model, painting it, giving it life, and then handing it off to our character riggers who send it off to animation. So we actually create the object itself.
It's in general just become, I guess you'd say more sophisticated, but it's more of a traditional media now. It's kind of if you know how to sculpt traditionally, then you're going to transfer right in. Traditional skills are playing a more important role, which is great.
Do you feel that you've channeling the great masters of art history to help you achieve a new level?
Raphael, you know, they speak to me.
Really? One of the big things that I was looking forward to doing is nasty stuff like this, because before this I'd been doing more technical stuff, more like realistic humans. Doing realism is fun to a certain extent. It's more fun to do something that's slightly realistic. There's more artistic license as far as where you can go with it. With realism, there is no artistic license.
Creature design is kind of the most exciting thing. Like Peter was saying, artistic freedom, and just you can do kind of whatever you want and you push things. I mean, that's what the great masters did, so it's just exciting to work on that kind of thing.
The great masters.
Here's my workstation. I have my Cintiq, which is what we use to paint and model. This is the monitor that we can actually draw on, paint on the screen, sculpt in ZBrush, which is very helpful and amazing. And then on the left of me. I have my standard monitor where I usually keep my reference. We're able to give metal a kind of specularity that we couldn't before. Scratches, blood, a real shine and realism that we couldn't deliver on the last project. We are working with a lot more polygons and a lot more textures on our project this time, per object.
Here's Hermes, the concept art that I got from Andy Park, who did a great job. You can see the boots are in there and what color they're supposed to be, what material. We're still working on the cloth, making sure that's all rigged nicely. And right now, I'm fighting with the hair, trying to make the hair look good. So hopefully by the time you see this in the game, it'll be looking nice and transparent. So here we are starting him out in ZBrush and adding a lot of the little detail. Say if you wanted his skin to bulge around these straps, it would be really easy to go ahead and just add musculature in here.
Today you may defeat me, but in the end, Kratos, you'll betray only yourself.
This is the centaur in our game. Andy Park did the concept. They always do like a colored version first like this to kind of nail the feel of the character and like what he's all about. And then they'll give us these turnarounds like this one. We have, you know, the horses
possibly,
have these like chest muscles that kind of flow into the horse neck, you know, this way. And we have abdomen muscles and these obliques that kind of flow in. And where our hips sit, you know, is kind of where their shoulder blades sit. So typically most people draw centaurs. You know, this isn't, I'm not the first one to make one of these things. So, you know, this has been thought about before. But typically, you know, our hips, like where the hips would sit on a human, they put where the shoulder blades would be. It feels kind of like it would work, you know.
Kratos was created from scratch simply because we weren't sure where we wanted to go in the third game, if we were going to change him at all, or if we were going to maintain the PS2 silhouette and essentially the same exact character. We felt like it might be an opportunity to really make some changes to him, considering the level of fidelity and sophistication in what we could create now on the PS3. We started out way out there. 2.5 years later, we decided that he looks like the PS2 model. So we're back to where we started, but it's really coming together, and it's right for the game. Kratos is a very heroic, very stylized silhouette, a very thin waist, very broad shoulders. He has kind of a swimmer's build on steroids. He's 8.5 feet tall, and he has a head the size of a 4 foot tall person. His waist is probably thinner than all of our wives. He's a trippy
I hope your wife
guy,
isn't watching.
but he reads really well in the game. Basically what I'm working on now is we've got an upper body and a mesh that the art director as well as the director really like. So now it's a matter of creating a blend map, which is new technology for Sony Santa Monica, in that we can do expressions. Basically, I'm just creating the rage, sculpting him looking angry, and we'll be able to blend this new facial expression into the current model. So we can go from here to here. The satisfaction comes in seeing him in the game saying, wow, that's him. Only look, you can see his veins and you can see him breathing. And it looks better than the cinematics. That's kind of that's the satisfaction.
Son has returned. I bring the destruction of Olympus!
Caden's crow in the opening cinematic flies down and ends up landing on this hapless victim. And as he's eating the guy, he rips the eyeball out of the socket. So it's especially like juicy and nasty.
He
Later today,
enjoys
I'll be
he
working on
enjoys
the
that
vein
far too
the
much.
eyeball's attached to. So maybe the crow can like wrestle the
Why
eye
is he
out.
wearing a
So
2K
he gets some good
Sports
squirming going on in
t-shirt?
the audience, sort of thing. The way
This
it works
guy
is
is.
that you lay down your base color. For example, with this
I don't
guy, you
trust
get
this
like
guy.
a good skin tone going, and then from there you add additional details. Like with this guy, his main details are the cuts that he has, and then the dirt that's added.
Yeah.
There's some sort of distortion going on here, and that's because it's actually being wrapped in 3D. So you can sort of feel where the chin line is just because of how these are bending.
This is Hercules, and he's wearing these cestises, and basically they're like these huge gauntlets. Just trying to get across the fact that he's kind of like this aged warlord. He's not a super fresh young guy, so he's got some fat to him and some history. He's basically Kratos' brother, so a lot of the visual elements that he has, I think, parallel what Kratos wears. The really fun stuff was sculpting his flesh and his muscles and whatnot. Like, this is a final concept image, but we take it a step further and put a level of polish on it that isn't there, because once it's here, this is a beautiful painting, but once it goes in the game, it needs to be perfect. at every angle. Every angle you look at it has to be a great piece of work. So it's you have to go in and you take this and you take everything a step further, and there can't be any mistakes.
Call it my 13th and final labor. Soon I will become the god of war and claim the throne for myself.
I probably won't watch all of these
The role of
because it's
combat
late-ish
designer on God of War 3
at the moment.
is a complex role. Basically has anything to do with characters in the game.
But I'll watch a
characters
few
you see
more.
Moving in the game, attacking, fighting, are generally implemented by the combat designer. And then, of course, Kratos. What his platforming elements are going to be, what his new combat moves are going to be, what weapons he's going to use, how he's going to use them, how he walks, everything. I'm here with Jason McDonald, who's a senior combat designer on God of War 3. And we're just talking about the new features that we have in the game and what we're trying to add to the God of War franchise.
Well, we've got some of Kratos' items in. He can grab a head and he can light stuff up. Now that we can play with lighting in God of War 3, we can make the entire room dark, have enemies that are attacking you in the dark, can't be seen. And when you light them up with the head, they light up for a limited amount of time, so you can attack them while you can see them, but then they are constantly disappearing.
You get to parts where it's completely pitch dark and you hear the guys scream in the background. You use the Helios head to, find out where they are. The strategy gameplay.
You didn't
the
really
combat
need to
side
do
of it
that very
turns
much,
into-
though.
You have to keep these guys lit to be able to hit them, otherwise you get.
It's quite
screwed and
a
they
small
just
part of
destroy
the
you in
game.
dark, so.
Definitely something we couldn't do before, just because we didn't have dynamic lighting to the extent that we have it now. So
We got the combat grapple in.
we tried the grapple stuff in God of War 2, but since we were limited on memory and animations and things like that, we just couldn't do it, and couldn't. If we couldn't do it well, then we weren't going to do it at all. So we just didn't do it. But now we have more space, more memory. Kratos is a very strong character, so when he grapples an enemy, he kind of just charges right in and plows through everybody. So the grapple system is exactly like that. You can launch somebody in the air and you grapple them and you plow yourself right into the air, right into them. If there's a crowd of enemies, you'll plow yourself through all of them.
Hey, I'm at Brian Yu's desk here. He's a senior combat designer on God of War 3.
For this particular boss, which is a huge scorpion, you want to make sure the presence is there and the player will feel the power of the attack. Usually for attacks for boss character, you want them to be really recognizable so the player know it's coming, because if the player cannot recognize the move and react in time, they get hit, because it's boss character, you will take a lot of damage. So it's not fun, if you don't see the attack coming, you're being hit. So that's something that we try to work really hard on.
I'm here with Jason DeHarris, combat designer on God of War 3. And we're just looking over some of the writable stuff that's early in development. So how do you think it's going?
It's all right in terms of Kratos.
It's alright.
He still wants to kill this beast that's in his way to his ultimate goal. So he doesn't. It's not really his friend. So he's not really telling it to attack. He's just trying to kill it, and then
Yeah.
the indirectness of that is.
Well, I appreciate the honesty.
Reacting to his pain, pretty much. But then there's a challenge of making him feel responsive as well.
Instead of being all like, oh yeah, it's amazing, just like, it's alright.
The pain reaction, so even the pain reaction is really a hit, actually.
As you can see, we got a bunch of grunts on screen right now. And when you're fighting all these grunts, like taking on, doing a special move or, grabbing each one and killing them, that can be kind of slow. This will be an awesome tool for, like, you see the Cyclops in there, and you're just like, I want to get after the Cyclops so I can jump on his back and do tons of damage.
I wonder why they still have like PS2s like
But just like any
out
other
like that.
feature, we have to prove that it's going to be fun and good. And, if it's not, we got to get rid of it because everything has to be fun.
Yeah. There are so many of these. We'll do voice acting for sure.
This recording session for God of War that we're starting today is the culmination of a lot of preparation. This is definitely the most complicated session I've ever put together.
I just loads. The making of video on its own was at least like 25 minutes, half an hour maybe.
Here, just duck under the microphone. We need to take a couple minutes to readjust where things are. I'm a little nervous about this session, just the number of variables. We've got a lot going on. 2 actors at a time. We've got a lot of people going to be at the session. We've got facial capture, we've got teleprompters, we've got all kinds of stuff. It's a new studio. There's room for error, but I like to think that I've nailed everything down before we got there. But I'm definitely, my breath's coming a little shorter today than it normally does. We are moments away.
What was it, Kratos?
All I remember is what I have lost.
That is why you should give me the power. I understand its true meaning. And
my character, I like to think of her as she thinks she's doing something good, but in reality, she's trying to take over the world.
Kratos, she is the key to our revenge. I trust you to do the right thing, Kratos.
You shouldn't.
Kratos, I found out, is a piece of me that I kind of didn't know existed. It's kind of a dark side that it really is fun getting a chance to explore.
I delivered your revenge on Zeus.
My vengeance ends now. I owe you nothing!
When you have the other actor in the room, you're able to come up with a rhythm. It makes it more real.
I really, really like it. It gives you a chance to play off of what the other person is doing as opposed to doing it by yourself.
We're getting so much from this performance that we wouldn't normally get. I'm totally stoked about it right now.
You owe me this, Kratos.
I owe you nothing!
Bravo. That's perfect. Awesome.
Excellent.
That was it. That was it.
I knew you'd come back. I've never worked with the prompters, and it's really freeing for the actor because, you know, you're looking straight ahead instead of always, you know, face down in the page, and it's really a cool experience.
Find the labyrinth. Ah! Ah! Please help, Kratos!
One of my favorite things to do is scream. I really, I don't know why. Maybe, no, I don't know why. I saw Zeus torture my father. I just try really a simple approach to it. It's bringing those words into your character and actually thinking a thought before it. It makes it more real. They called me a monster.
Beautiful. Natalie was new. We'd never worked with her before. She was an ace. She totally knocked it out of the park.
Many more variables than a normal voiceover session for a game today, and it went very, very well. I'm happy with how today turned out.
Phenomenal. Phenom.
That's all that really matters is Stig is happy, and if Stig's happy, we're all happy.
Who is Hercules? Well, it was me for 7 years on TV, so this is a whole different look. I didn't quite have that look. I had kind of more gear on, and I didn't weigh, 4,000 pounds. This guy's like about 12 feet tall.
They called them labors. Ha!
There you go. That was good. That was really good. Yeah. Kevin Sorbo was obviously an easy choice because he's Hercules, but not necessarily in terms of the way that he's played Hercules in the past, a little bit of a departure. Can we get, but this time, brother, more seething?
But this time, brother, this time I will destroy you.
That's good.
In this game, he's a much darker brute. He's not the brightest light bulb out there, but at the same time, when it comes to war, he's brilliant.
The direction is more pissed.
Okay. As pissed as you can get.
The most valuable I can be is to take what the creator of the game has been imagining and seeing on paper for a long time and bringing it to life with the voice, and trying to find different ways to get to actors to achieve what he wants to do.
Try one thing, if you would, Kevin.
Yeah.
Take the breath after stables, and then you can finish off the phrase.
Okay.
The most frustrating thing about doing voiceover is the amount of time you've got to do each line. You've got to repeat it, but you've got to also do it in so many different ways, so many different inflections, and you end up losing your voice.
Have you not killed enough of your family?
That's good.
Good. That's very good. It was a slam dunk. He really brought a passion to the character. He was very professional. His voice was kind of running out. That's when he gave some of his best stuff.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
It wasn't the same Hercules, not even close to it. So it was a darker and more sinister person and a more evil person to deal with and play. But you know, from my standpoint, it was a lot of fun.
It's the way to start.
New day of recording, very excited about it. Today we're doing Rip Torn and Malcolm McDowell. The game's based on Greek mythology. This guy's like the Smith god, and he's like...
Always the Vulcan.
Yes, exactly.
The Roman name for Hephaestus is Vulcan. He's the god of
What's
fire
he in?
and,
I recognize his name.
The great blacksmith. The greatest thing you have on stage is the other actor.
Ah, okay. Yeah, got you.
Thank you. They are entertainment and they are movies, and you can get involved in it. It kind of gives you a semblance of what live theater used to be when you had audience participation. Yeah, I kind of look like that.
Ghost of Sparta. It is you. Well, well, well. I thought Zeus would have killed you by now.
Daedalus.
Oh, and what does he do?
He's the inventor. He also created the labyrinth.
The labyrinth? Oh, wow. And where is the golf course?
It's really cool. Eat lunch with Malcolm McDowell. You can't beat that.
The ice storm, that will give me the power to bring my son back to me. Where is my boy?
Awesome.
You bastards!
That was awesome.
That is fabulous. We want to protect it with one more, please.
Oh, we're not gonna go protecting all these takes, are we?
Yeah,
Don't
we
tell
are.
me we're gonna do 2 fucking takes. Why don't you just use a bit of proper tape? Why do we have to do 2 takes of everything?
Well, because we
Not for protection.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Let's listen to it.
That's nonsense.
And we're going to listen to one.
Moldy.
I'll be right with you.
Okay. You don't mind, right? Because it's really, if I'm in a jag and it's going, it's going.
I hear you. Could we do the line to escape it, please,
Yes.
one more time?
Tell me what you need.
The word catalyst had a little bit of a squirtle to it.
Okay?
Okay? When you're ready?
Okay. To escape it, we must assemble it.
Actors are so varied and so different in the way they work, and to find what that key in there is and unlock that door with them and then be able to play is really a challenge and a kick at the same time.
He said that if I took the liquid fire and the sling, oh my boy, oh my child.
You know, I actually like that. That's different than what we thought.
Terrific, thank you.
I like it.
Vengeance on the king of gods. You'll need an army of gods. And weapons. Of course, weapons. I could build. I could use the fire of Hades. Wait, please. Please, wait. Free me. Free me from my torture.
We're good. We're good.
Thank you, Sparta. Thanks, Spartan. I say a lot. Thanks so much.
Cheers,
So kind. I say squatter.
We're not used to people coming in here and nailing it so, like, basically knocking it out of the park like this. So
Oh, really?
we had more time, so.
Well, no, okay. Well, listen, I just thought, oh my God, I thought I had reams and reams and I had to do everything twice. And it was like, oh my God, if you've got it, right?
Right. Yeah, we got some great stuff.
Great.
It's fantastic.
Terrific.
Good,
Thank you. My pleasure. To work with Malcolm McDowell and Rip Torn in the same day.
Same day, yeah.
Pretty wild experience.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me, too, the different acting styles, because Malcolm McDowell is very much the Royal Shakespeare Company. And
This guy looks a bit like Leonard Cohen.
Word for word, like that. And Rip